Friday Night Frenzy.
From our broadcast studio in Rocky Hill, welcome into Week 6 of Friday Night Frenzy right here on Channel 3. Glad you're with us tonight. I'm Joe Zone.
And I'm Andrew Brill. We'll also have your night in baseball and take a look at Media Day from the Travelers Championship.
But we begin tonight with high school baseball. Several big matchups starting the schedule on our Friday night schedule.
That included a showdown out of the Central Connecticut Conference as Hall of West Hartford traveled to take on Southington.
It was senior day this afternoon. Southington seniors honored. Prior to the start, the Blue Knights showing why they're a team to keep an eye on. They broke things open in the early going. Andrew Paradis smashes the shot to center, caught by the outfielder, but that brings in a run. Southington has the lead, and they add to it. Jacob Romano, a shot to the outfield. That drives in Jacob Del Monte. Southington increases their lead at home. Still more from the Blue Knights. It's Delamonte's turn at the plate. He lines a shot to the outfield. He's into second with a stand-up double. Another Southington runs in. All part of a big afternoon for Southington at home. The Blue Knights easily beat Hall 14-4. Southington now 14-3 on the season, ranked 5th in the Double L playoff standings.
East Hartford taking on East Catholic send Alessia Presamarita to the mound, trying to stop a 2-game losing streak. And East Catholic, who've won 4 in a row, give the ball to Jake McDowell. But a little trouble for McDowell in the second. Lolo Roman for the Hornets hits one with a lot of spin on it to the shortstop. He double clutches, can't get Roman at first. Presamarita scores the first run of the game coming down the line from third. In the third, with runners on the corner, Xavier Quiles lays down the suicide squeeze. Julian Gonzalez safe at the plate. It's 2-0 East Hartford. 3-0 when Presamarita was still dealing. Here he gets the ground out to second base to end the 5th inning. The whole press box loving it, dancing in their seats to YMCA on a beautiful night for baseball. In the 6th, with Nicholas Massaro on in relief, for East Hartford gets an insurance run. Roman fights off the inside pitch into center field. Jared Dalrymple scores, and it was fitting on this night that Presamarita got the final assist. He goes the distance, giving up only 2 hits as East Hartford wins it 4-0.
South Windsor ranked 8th in the latest Game Time CT baseball poll on the road, taking on Manchester. It was senior day there. Early highlights, South Windsor showing off the bats. That's Hunter Pasqualini with the base hit for the Bobcats. South Windsor pitching also coming up big. The Bobcats get the strikeout. Now take a look at our defensive play of the night. Manchester's Cam Berry makes a sliding catch to end the inning. Nice grab. Manchester couldn't hold back the Bobcats for long. Pasqualini again, a base hit. South Windsor in business. And that led to this. Nick Darby follows with a base hit, brings in a couple more runs. The Bobcats continue to roll. They beat Manchester 7-2. South Windsor has won 13 in a row. They're 16-1, ranked 2nd in Class L. Moving on to softball tonight. Final regular season games wrapping up. Conference tournaments begin next week.
Another matchup out of the CCC as Platt of Meriden travel to take on Middletown. Both these teams trying to improve their playoff positioning as the playoffs start to get closer. Platt takes the early lead on the road. Daniela Fuentes Mercado with the scorcher up the middle for the base hit. In comes the first run of the game, and the Panthers jump on top. More from Platt. Bats later on. This shot to center field is bobbled by the outfielder, allowing a run to come in. Platt builds the lead, but Middletown battles back. Caitlin Newman at the plate now, and her blast goes to center field over the center fielder's head. Newman is into second with a stand-up double. That hit leads to this. Dominic Highsmith. That's a base hit for Middletown. 2 more runs going to come in to score. Middletown is your winner at home today, beating Platt by a 10-7 final. With the win, Middletown improves to 10-10 as they fight for a spot in the Double L state playoffs. And this was the scene at Glastonbury last night in boys lacrosse. 2 of the best boys teams in the state. The Tomahawks hosted Simsbury.
And Glastonbury on senior day won the game 8-4. The Tomahawks are the number 2 seed in Class L behind Ridgefield. Simsbury is the 5th seed. out to Rocky Hill tonight for their first ever military appreciation game. Former and current military personnel, they join the teams at midfield. Rocky Hill wore special military uniforms. Rocky Hill, has 2 players who are moving on to serve our country. And the 2 officials tonight, they are veterans. Thanks to the Rocky Hill Fire Department for providing the really big American flag. Once the game started, it's all Berlin. They scored 6 goals before Rocky Hill got on the board. Nick Grant started things off on Berlin's first possession. And then Mark Bednarczyk with the extra attacker on the field. That made it 2-0. Berlin had 3-0 after the first. And with lots of pinpoint passing and some really good one-on-one work, Marco Scarano, that makes it 5-0. Bednarczyk bounced one in as Berlin built a 12-1 halftime lead. They go on to win it 17-4. The Redcoats finished the regular season 12-4. They are the 6th seed in Class M. Fans coming out in the rain, Wallingford this afternoon as Sheehan hosted Windsor in girls lacrosse. The home team jumped out front early, never looked back first. Madison Gaynor gets the pass in front, and she knows what to do with that. The big score, the Titans get the lead. Next up, Molly Donegan off the free play for Sheehan. No chance for the goalie to stop that shot. Sheehan was up 2-0 in the end. Caitlin Mills is a captain on the team, gets into the scoring, fires off the nasty shot for the score. Yeah, Sheehan pulling away at home. And then finally, more of that nice passing leads to Carly Crispins, another Titans captain, getting out in front, scoring for Sheehan. The Titans win big at home 12-4. They improved to 12-4 and are ranked 9th in the girls lacrosse Class S standings. All right, moving on to volleyball tonight. Currently, the Southington Blue Knights unbeaten, the top-ranked team in Class L.
And in Class M with an 18-2 record is number 1 seed Newington. Also in Class M is South Windsor, who was 11-6 on the season, but on a 3-match losing streak. They faced off against Class L opponent East Hartford, who comes into the match 11-6 and on a 2-match winning streak. East Hartford Hornets jumped out to an early lead. Timmy Nguyen serving on set point in the first set. South Windsor sets it up, but East Hartford gets the block. Bobcats get it back over, but the Hornets set it up for Victor Murphy. Ouch! The quick spike in the first set belongs to East Hartford. In the second set, the Bobcats look to end this one early. Aldane Burke climbing high above the net to spike that one home, but the Bobcats come back and take the lead in the second set. They try to set it up, but have to send it back to East Hartford. They set it up for a spike, but Owen Cotton digs it out beautifully, keeping the point alive. That's when Jared Caroline sees it opening, sends it right back over the net. That's a point. And the second set, unfortunately for them, that was their only set win. East Hartford wins 3-1. Still much more to come tonight on week 6 of Friday Night Frenzy.
When we come back, we're just a month away from the return of the Travelers Championship. We'll take a look at Media Day and hear from the defending champion.
And then your night in baseball highlights as the Yankees, Red Sox, and Mets all in action. That's coming up when we come back.
Screaming.
Welcome back to Friday Night Frenzy here on Channel 3. I'm Andrew Brill.
And I'm Joe Zone. The Travelers Championship, Connecticut's biggest sporting event, is just 4 weeks away. Travelers brought the defending champion this week to get the hype started. Bubba Watson, he spent the day here answering questions, taking pictures, and schmoozing with sponsors. He's all in, starting with his charitable contributions, focusing on kids.
You know, not being able to have kids of my own, so for us, adopting 2 beautiful kids. When you talk about junior golf, somebody had to donate to give back to let me play golf when I was 6 years old, you know, to make the tournaments affordable or free. So for me, it's about giving back. My dad and mom taught me about giving back and being part of a community. So the Children's Hospital in Phoenix, the Children's Hospital in Pensacola, Florida, the Hole in Wall Game Camp here in Connecticut. There's a bunch of charities, and it's always about kids. I always want to give back to the kids because the kids are born into a situation, good or bad. So I always just try to help them and help them grow.
As the tournament director, if you had to write a description of this is what our champion, we would like him to be like, you've got him.
I would say Bubba writes that script, you know, when it looks at what he gives back from his time, right? I mean, the fact that he goes and visits our charities, what he actually does with his wallet. You know, he cuts checks. I mean, he cut a $100,000 check to ALS in 16. He gave $200,000 to camp last year. So he shows up for media day, spends the entire, you know, day here. It's one of those things that's it's exactly what you would hope to have out of a champion. He feels personally connected with what we're doing here, and he's invested in us, and that's great. We're invested in him.
This city, this town, this community has been great for me and my family.
A lot of people write checks, that's great, but you get more involved in it. You show up, you look at a place before you make a move.
Yeah, for sure. I wanted to go see what it's all about. I heard about the Hole in Wall Game Camp from other people, and then also from the Travelers. So when the first time I heard about it, I came up here and I went and visited, saw what they were doing and how they were growing it and what it was about. And then to dance with the kids, to be a part of that, and them sing songs for me was pretty special. And then now to be a part of it financially as well, seeing it, watching it grow, and know what it's about and what it really truly does for families, kids in general, but then the families as well is pretty special.
Well, welcome home to our 3-time champion, Bubba Watson. Right.
We will have extensive coverage of the Travelers Championship all week long from Cromwell. That includes 3 Inside the Travelers Championship specials. Join us Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, June 19th through the 21st at 7, only here on Channel 3. Moving on to baseball now, and tonight the Yankees started a series at home against the Rays.
Coming into play tonight, the Yanks had won 8 of their last 10, looking for their 4th win in a row. And it's a 3-game weekend series with Tampa. First place on the line, the Yanks starting the night a half game back. What a finish, though. They trailed 3-2 in the 9th. They tie it up, but the tying run comes in on a wild pitch, all even at 3. And then with a man on third, 2 outs, Gio Urshela with the base hit. In comes the winning run. The Yankees walk off with a 4-3 win. They are now at the top of the American League East, at least for a day.
Astros and Red Sox opening up a series at Fenway tonight. Boston grabbed a lead in the 6th here as Christian Vasquez singles to right. In comes a run, and it's 1-0 Sox. But Houston came back. Former UConn standout George Springer continued his tremendous play as he smashed a 2-run blast at right center. His 17th homer of the year. Astros beat the Red Sox 3-1.
Mets and Marlins playing in Miami tonight. New York got an early lead. Pete Alonso, a solo home run, his 14th, 1-0 New York. Miami roughs up the Mets ace, Jacob deGrom. He goes 5 innings, 9 hits, 7 runs, 6 earned. He struggles this year, really. They continue. Marlins beat the Mets 8-6. deGrom now 3-5.
To downtown Hartford, Dunkin' Donuts Park, the Yard Goats and the Sea Dogs. Hartford took an early lead. 2-1 in the 6th. New Hampshire got home runs from Kevin Smith and Chad Spanberger. New Hampshire wins 4-2. 6,715 fans in attendance for Hartford's 8th sellout. Game 3 tomorrow night at 6:05.
On to the second round of the PGA Championship, and Masters winner Tiger Woods. He needed a good showing to make the cut today. Here he is on 18, has the putt for par. He finished at 5 over. He missed the cut by 1 shot. Everybody chasing Brooks Koepka. A putt for birdie on 18, nailed it. He has the lead 12 under. That's a record for the lowest score after 2 rounds in a major. He has a 7-shot lead over Jordan Spieth and Adam Scott. Bubba Watson, by the way, did not make the cut. Third and final round coverage of the PGA Championship can be seen this weekend right here on Channel 3. And that'll do it tonight for Friday Night Frenzy. Thanks for joining us.
If you haven't done already, we remind you to download our Channel 3 Sports app. There you can see highlights not only from tonight's show, but from the entire year of FNF. The Channel 3 Sports app is available in the App Store.
We want to thank our producer, Mark Pizukowski, our director, Jason Bowman, the rest of the crew. Thanks, Doug, over there on Prompter. For Andrew Brill, I'm Joe Zone. Good night.
It was a stellar job.
Now, Joe Zone with Eyewitness Sports.
Good morning. We've got some of the highlights from last night's Friday Night Frenzy show. Time running out on the regular season. We're starting to look toward the playoffs. We're going to start with softball. Middletown and Platte, both teams trying to improve their playoff positioning as the playoffs are closer. Okay, I just don't have the South Windsor script. Yep. So just blow that one out. Nope. I'm glad you saw that.
Now, Joe Zone with Eyewitness Sports.
Good morning on this beautiful Saturday morning. We've got highlights from last night's Friday Night Frenzy show. Time running out on the regular season. We're headed to the playoffs. We're going to start with baseball. South Windsor ranked 8th in the latest Game Time CT baseball poll. On the road, taking on Manchester last night. Senior day in Manchester. Early highlights, South Windsor showing off the bats. Hunter Pasqualini with the base hit for the Bobcats. South Windsor now pitching, coming up big. The Bobcats get the strikeout. Now, take a look at the defensive play of the night. Manchester's Cam Berry going and makes a sliding catch to end the inning. Manchester couldn't hold back the Bobcats for long. First, it's Pasqualini, another base hit. South Windsor's in business, and it led to this. Nick Darby with a base hit. That brings in a couple of runs for South Windsor. The Bobcats continue to roll. They beat Manchester 7-2. South Windsor has won 13 in a row. They're 16-1, ranked second in Class LL. Softball now. Platte and Middletown, both teams trying to improve their playoff position as the playoffs get closer. Platte takes the early lead. Daniela Fuentes Mercado with a scorcher up the middle for the base hit. In comes the first run of the game. The Panthers are on top. More from the Platte bats later on. This shot to center field, bobbled by the outfielder. That allows a run to come in. Platte builds the lead, but Middletown comes back. Caitlin Newman at the plate. Her blast to center. Over the center fielder's head. Newman into second, and she's got a stand-up double. And that led to this. Dominique Highsmith, a base hit for Middletown. 2 more runs score Middletown. Your winner at home yesterday, beating Platt 10-7. With that win, Middletown now 10-10, fighting for a spot in the Double L playoffs. All right, South Windsor ranked 8th in the latest Game Time Connecticut baseball poll on the road, taking on Manchester. Senior day in Manchester. Early highlights here. Nope. Scripts are out of order. Can we pick it up from there? I can edit it, yep. So I should be going to Rocky Hill next. That's Rocky Hill. Gotcha. So the script was in there, but it was out of order. So now that makes that. Okay. Yeah, I'll make that edit. Yep. Out to Rocky Hill for their first ever military appreciation game. Former and current military personnel joined the teams at midfield. Rocky Hill wore special military jerseys. You know, Rocky Hill has 2 players who are moving on to serve our country, and the 2 officials last night are veterans. Thanks to the Rocky Hill Fire Department for providing the really big American flag. Once the game started, all Berlin, they scored 6 goals before Rocky Hill was on the board. Nick Grant started things off on Berlin's first possession. Then Mark Bednarczyk with the extra attacker on the field. He made it 2-0. Berlin led 3-0 after 1. Lots of pinpoint passing. Then some just really good one-on-one work. Marco Scorano made it 5-0. Bednarczyk bounced one in as Berlin built a 12-1 halftime lead. They go on to win 17-4. The Redcoats finished the regular season 12-4. They're the 6th seed in Class M. Fans coming out in the rain in Wallingford as Sheehan hosted Windsor girls lacrosse. The home team jumped out front early, never looked back. Madison Gaynor gets the pass in front of the net. She knows what to do with that. Big score right there. The Titans get the lead. Next up, Molly Donegan off the free play for Sheehan, and no chance for the goalie to stop that wicked shot. Sheehan goes up 2-0. Caitlin Mills, a captain on the team, she gets into the scoring here as she fires off a nasty shot. Sheehan pulling away at home. And then finally, nice passing leads to Carly Crispins, another Titan captain. She's in front, scoring for Sheehan. Titans were big at home, 12-4. They improved to 12-4 and are ranked 9th in the girls lacrosse Class S standings. Baseball last night, the Yard Goats, they lost at home, but they're back home tonight. That's a 6 o'clock start. The Yankees won, Mets lost, Red Sox lost. Don't forget, we've got the PGA Championship right here on Channel 3 this afternoon, and then back with the late news tonight. That's the Morning Sports. I'm Joe Zone. Go enjoy the day, and I'll see you out there.
The only pitch he saw. Left-hander again, set with an 0-2.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, ROG. Can you hear me?
Mic check, Kevin Hogan, 1, 2.
Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Now on Eyewitness News.
And we're following several big stories tonight. We begin on this Friday night with a check of the forecast. A mix of sunshine, clouds, and even some raindrops across the state today. But we're gearing up for a great weekend. Good evening, and thanks for joining us. I'm Kevin Hogan. Plenty of events happening all around Connecticut this weekend, but will the weather hold up? Meteorologist Melissa Cole is here with a look at what we can expect. Melissa?
Hi there, Kevin. Yeah, I think the weather's really going to hold up nicely for tomorrow. That's the pick of the weekend. Sunday looks okay, but we may be dodging a shower or two. Nothing to cancel any outdoor plans. But here's some current temperatures outside for you right now. Fairly comfortable in Hartford, where it's 56, 58 in Meriden, 60 right now in New Haven, 63 in Bridgeport, and a cooler spot up in Tolland at 59, 57 in Putnam. We had some pretty warm temperatures out there earlier today. We got into the mid 70s in some towns, which I'll show you coming up in about 10 minutes or so. But right now, everybody down into the 50s for the most part, and dew points are dropping off. Felt a little bit muggy out there during the middle part of the day, but dew points are now dropping down, and it's starting to feel a little bit more comfortable outside. And that trend will continue during the rest of the overnight. There's all that rain that we had earlier today that has moved on out. Another little batch of showers just kind of skirting parts of southern Fairfield County, but that is heading off to the south and east. And we're going to see the drying trend continue for the rest of the overnight. And that's going to set the stage for a really nice Saturday for us. Finally, we get some nice weather on the weekend, right? We're going to see a good deal of sunshine for your day tomorrow, with temperatures topping out in the lower, perhaps even middle 70s. So that is really nice weather for your Saturday. We'll talk more about Sunday and next week coming up in just a bit. Kevin?
All right. Thanks, Melissa. Now at 1100s, perhaps even thousands of anti-toll demonstrators are getting ready to send a clear message tomorrow. While lawmakers and the governor debate the details of the plan, critics are preparing to turn the state capitol into the site of a massive toll protest. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Roger Susanna is joining us live now outside the state capitol with the details. Roger?
Well, you know, Kevin, before lawmakers determine the fate of this toll proposal here at the state capitol, a large group of protesters will use this exact same setting to send a very strong message.
Ridiculous. absolutely ridiculous.
Brian Clark of Westbrook doesn't waste words when sharing his opinion of Governor Ned Lamont's toll plan. Saturday, Clark and hundreds of others will protest the proposal at a demonstration at the state capitol. What message do you hope to get at tomorrow's rally?
To get the message across that this isn't fair.
But many of the men and women who make their living by driving on Connecticut highways will tell you something must be done about the state of roads in our state.
They are in terrible shape. Terrible, New Haven, Bridgeport, Waterbury, and lots of potholes, and it gets worse.
Cab driver Lassen Lauterson says the roads get worse every year, and he feels that the governor's controversial proposal may be the best way forward as long as the rates are low.
Overall, if its tolls is like the prices are fair, will be good.
But Uber driver Stephanie Bowers agrees with the people who plan to protest on Saturday. She argues the cost of living in Connecticut is already out of control, and putting more of the burden on drivers would be a mistake.
You're already taxed enough, so I don't think that we should have to pay the tolls.
Polls show it very clear that the people of Connecticut are opposed to tolls, don't want to see them in our state.
No Tolls Connecticut, the same organization that gave Lamont a petition with 100,000 signatures from residents opposed to tolls, is sponsoring the rally. Brian promises he won't waste words there either.
It's a bad idea because we're paying for this.
Now the rally begins here tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock here at the state capitol. We'll of course cover it for you on the Channel 3 app and on air. Reporting live outside the state capitol, I'm Roger Suzanne, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, thanks, Roger. Turning to developing news tonight from Boston, there is word of a potential sale of Wynn's new Encore Boston Harbor Resort Casino. Tonight, MGM Resorts International and Wynn issuing a joint statement confirming they are in talks, but calls them, quote, very preliminary, unquote. The $2 billion resort, which is located in Everett, Mass., is scheduled to open next month. Current gaming rules in Massachusetts say that the companies cannot have more than one gaming license in the state, so if MGM were to buy the Wynn Resort, it would put the Springfield Casino's future in question. In response, the companies write, quote, regardless of where this leads us, we will ensure that our commitments will be met and that those who welcomed us into their communities will not be disappointed, unquote. So this development leads to several unanswered scenarios. What happens to MGM Springfield? What does it say to the Mohegan Mashantucket Pequot Casino proposal for East Windsor? Stay tuned. Also new tonight, Missouri will soon join Alabama in having some of the most restrictive abortion laws in the entire country. The Republican-led House in Missouri overwhelmingly passed a bill to ban abortions at 8 weeks of pregnancy, with an exception for medical emergencies, but not for pregnancies caused by rape or incest. The state's Republican governor says he plans to sign the bill despite growing backlash from Democratic lawmakers.
The trauma that this is doing to the women that I've worked with and the families of this state, and how triggering all of these conversations are, is just unbearable.
The American Civil Liberties Union, Planned Parenthood, and other groups have vowed to challenge the Missouri ban in court. $1.1 billion in work is heading to Sikorsky in Stratford. The Department of Defense tonight announcing the order for CH-53K heavy lift long-range helicopters. Nearly 45% of that work will be performed right here in Connecticut. Sikorsky is owned by Lockheed Martin.
Andrew, I'll do the morning wrap tomorrow.
And still ahead tonight, a new reason to pick up the pace. Why the speed you walk could say a lot about how healthy you'll be down the road. But before we head to a break, a live look from our iCam over the capital city. A big weekend in Hartford. The Yard Goats will play, and it's graduation weekend at the University of Hartford and elsewhere. Melissa is back with another look at the weekend forecast. That's next. Potato pizza in Wellington.
You're watching Channel 3 Eyewitness News with Mark Zinni and early morning weather with Bruce DePriest, Connecticut's #1 local news. Eyewitness News at 11.
Those power walkers you see on the sidewalk may be onto something. A new study finds that people who walk at a faster pace often live longer lives. Researchers in the UK looked at close to 475,000 people for the study, and they found faster walkers had a longer life expectancy, no matter how much they weighed. The study also found that slower walkers were twice as likely to have heart-related problems. And this next story proves that a little TLC can go a very long way. A man in North Carolina says his Honda Accord just hit this 1 million mile mark. He snapped this photo just moments before the big milestone. He says he uses the car to travel to various auto shops across the state, and he logs about 65,000 miles a year. He admits he's had to replace the engine twice, but as a former mechanic, he says he was able to do much of the routine maintenance himself.
Now, Channel 3 early morning weather with meteorologist Melissa Cole.
That's pretty impressive. And also impressive is our forecast for tomorrow. I think you're going to like it. Let's take a live, actually some time-lapse video from earlier today in our capital city. And you can see we had some clouds, we had some rain, but they actually cleared out in time for the evening hours. So if you had dinner plans this evening, things were pretty nice out there, and the humidity is dropping during the overnight as skies are starting to clear on out. So that's some good news. It did get pretty warm out there today. Got up to 76 in Hartford, 70 in Windsor Locks, 78 in Meriden. Check that out, the warm spots, and 70 even in Groton. And temperatures are falling, will continue to fall during the overnight. We're going to bottom out in the upper 40s to low 50s during the overnight. A low of about 50 in Waterbury, 52 in New Haven, and a low of 49 in Putnam. Now here you can see some of the showers that we had during the middle part into the late afternoon. Those pushed on out. Another little batch formed just off to our south and west and skirted parts of Fairfield County and Long Island, but gone. And what we have now is high pressure building on in, and that's going to bring us a nice day for your Saturday with lots of sunshine and some nice temperatures too. Here's a look at Futurecast, and you can see what I mean as I scroll on through the timeline for the rest of the overnight. You can see any clouds will kind of move on out. By the time you wake up tomorrow morning, we'll have mostly sunny skies overhead. That sunshine continues through noon and through the late afternoon and evening hours. So things are looking good in terms of sunshine for tomorrow and dry weather. Then as we head towards Sunday, things get a little bit interesting. We will increase the clouds for your Sunday. I do not think it's going to be a washout, but there will be some scattered showers around from time to time. So keep that in the back of your mind. No need to cancel any outdoor plans. Doesn't look like a wide soaking rain, but certainly Saturday is looking like the pick of the weekend in terms of the best weather of the next couple of days. So your highs for tomorrow look like this: about 75 in Hartford, 74 in Waterbury, Chester getting up to about 74 tomorrow, 75 in Norwich, and we're looking at plenty of sunshine. And then tomorrow night we're looking at a full moon, the full flower moon. That's on tap for tomorrow night, so keep an eye to the sky. All right, for Sunday, we're looking at a high mid to upper 70s, more clouds than Saturday, and there could be a couple spot showers. Monday, a better chance for some showers and even some thunderstorms, but before that front moves on through, we could get quite mild with highs in the middle 80s. The humidity will be up on Monday too, so certainly shorts for school. And then Tuesday and Wednesday, things look good. We could have a few more showers as we head towards later Wednesday into Thursday. Kevin?
Thanks, Melissa. Big thank you tonight to everybody who stopped by the Simsbury this afternoon for 20 Towns in 20 Days. Channel 3's Matthew Campbell and Mike Cameron, they met some pretty great people, and the Sun even made an appearance briefly. And we're not done just yet. We wrap up our tour of the state next week with Eric Parker. He'll be in Groton on Monday, and be sure head to Down the Shoreline to check it out, and tune in the beginning at 5. That's our time for tonight. Thanks for watching Eyewitness News. We return tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. Have a great night and a great weekend. Joe is up next with Friday Night Frenzy.
Hello, test. 1, 2, 3, test.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing you. Yes, we can.
Got you, Mark. Yet another Friday with rain around the state. That's 10 in a row, but this time, not so much of an impact on our high school schedule. We've got you covered with highlights from baseball and softball.
Plus boys and girls lacrosse, boys volleyball, and more, all next on Friday Night Frenzy.
Your town, your team, your school. Eyewitness News presents Friday Night Frenzy.
From our broadcast studio in Rocky Hill, welcome into week 6 of Friday Night Frenzy right here in Channel 3. Glad you're with us tonight. I'm Joe Zone.
And I'm Andrew Brill. We'll also have your night in baseball and take a look at Media Day from the Travelers Championship.
But we begin tonight with high school baseball. Several big matchups starting the schedule on our Friday night schedule.
That included a showdown out of the Central Connecticut Conference as Hall of West Hartford traveled to take on Southington.
It was senior day this afternoon. Southington seniors honored. Prior to the start, the Blue Knights showing why they're a team to keep an eye on. They broke things open in the early going. Andrew Paradis smashes the shot to center, caught by the outfielder, but that brings in a run. Southington has the lead, and they add to it. Jacob Romano, a shot to the outfield. That drives in Jacob Del Monte. Southington increases their lead at home. Still more from the Blue Knights. It's Delamonte's turn at the plate. He lines a shot to the outfield. He's into second with a stand-up double. Another Southington runs in. All part of a big afternoon for Southington at home. The Blue Knights easily beat Hall 14-4. Southington now 14-3 on the season, ranked 5th in the Double L playoff standings.